What's up, Internet World? We're the News 19 Nerds.
Netflix.
Get it all out. I'm Leroy.
I'm Netflix. A.K.A. Michael.
We're talking about Netflix shows. We know you're stuck in the house.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to do a couple of these videos. Shows, movies on various platforms that we're calling this series the B-Sides. Everybody knows on Netflix. What do you think is like the most popular show on Netflix?
Isn't it The Witcher now?
I mean, they have this little thing that'll tell you when you scroll through.
Well, yeah, but that's that bull, whatever. Because that's by USA Today or whatever, right? Isn't that what
The top. That's from Netflix themselves. The top. So right now, Tiger King is number one. But it changes. So what I'm saying is, there are certain shows that are like everybody knows. Stranger Things. House of Cards.
Man, Sense8 was at a time people liked Sense8.
But here are the shows we think you should be checking out.
And these aren't necessarily Netflix originals, right?
Yes, no, they're just.
Yeah, it's like uh-oh.
Right now they're on Netflix because all of my shows, only two are from Netflix.
Okay.
So they were on other places. So I'm gonna start us off with my number one show that you should be checking out.
And are these in order?
Not really.
No, they're just numbers.
They're just
right?
numbers. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna have a number like number one, and then but my number one show is Happy.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know of it. That's got.
What do you know of it?
It's got Patton Oswalt as a donkey, or some type of cartoon creature. It's a donkey, right? Or what is it?
I love how you were like as a donkey, and then you were like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Here's the tagline. Mm-hmm. A boozy ex-cop turned hitman thinks he's losing his marbles when a cartoon unicorn only he sees urges him to rescue a girl kidnapped by Santa.
Sure. Yeah. Classic story. Yep.
I first found out about this show because it was an original graphic novel from Garth Ennis and Derek Robertson. Mm-hmm. That's the same team behind The Boys.
Okay.
It was a graphic novel that came out, I believe a graphic novel. I don't remember it being actual month-to-month comics, or like a miniseries, but I know it's a graphic novel. Detective Stabler.
Sir, what's his real name?
Chris
Maloney?
Christopher Maloney.
Yeah. Sir.
Detective Stabler. Basically, the reason why I say Detective Stabler, because it's like, to me, it's the alternate universe if Detective Stabler lost everything and became a crazy hitman. And it's like if SVU just took a turn.
Okay.
And it's, I say this because it's an awesome show. Mm-hmm. It is hilarious. I'm going to rewatch it because season 2 comes out this Friday. It was originally on Sci-Fi. And Sci-Fi, if you are a good show, will kill you. If you are a decent show, Sci-Fi might give you 2 seasons.
But you know what? At least like Sci-Fi gives you a green light, right?
Sci-Fi will green light you.
Yeah.
Just to kill you later.
Yeah. Because I feel like this got canceled the same time as Deadly Class.
This was season 2. Deadly Class got 1 season.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm recommending this, but it comes with the warning. This is not for children.
So even though it has a unicorn and a Santa, that don't matter.
This is as much for children as Game of Thrones is for daycare viewing.
Okay. I'm glad you gave us that warning.
Matter of fact, this might be worse than Game of Thrones.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I tell you the cursing on this, I thought I cursed. Mm-hmm. Whoo!
Okay.
Woo! There's some words came through my mind when I certain episodes.
So break it down. Is it like a half-hour show? Is it an hour show?
It's an hour show.
Hour show. Okay.
It's I want to see how many episodes. I want to say 9, but I don't want to get that.
It's definitely not a full 26. So
it's
like
8. It's 8 episodes.
It's not like an NBC or a CBS show. It's got like 26.
No.
Yeah.
This is probably a good little afternoon. Like you start in the afternoon, you could finish it up. I personally spaced it out because that first episode was a little hard to watch, and then as it kept going, I was like, oh, wow, like boom, mind blown. I was like, man, this is amazing.
Okay.
I've been waiting for season 2 because Netflix has spoiled me. I hate commercials. And I don't want to watch this on regular TV.
Yeah. Netflix has spoiled all of us in terms of being able to binge stuff. It is definitely hard to watch. And Hulu, for a while there was a point when even though Netflix was still did everything, Hulu was still doing the once a week. Mm-hmm. Some shows they've kind of gone away with that and they've done binge stuff when they've kind of copied Netflix a lot. But yeah, Netflix has spoiled us for sure.
And for me, so a lot of times when you see a show with commercials that's made with commercials, to me this show works better without the commercial breaks because it seems the way it's edited without the commercials works really well. And I like it when it just moves because these episodes, there was very little time where you were like, oh, we could have spent less time here. The episodes move. It's only 8 episodes. There are kids in the show. This is not. I implore you, do not let your children watch this. However, it is great.
Okay.
It is one of the best shows out there. So that's my first show.
Okay. I'll stick with the sci-fi show.
Okay.
My number 1, not as in what I think is the best, but just the one on this
first
list.
show. Yeah.
First show is going to be The Magicians.
Okay.
That
was a book.
That was a book.
That's right there.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We got props. Didn't even know we had props, y'all.
How do you not remember we had props when they sent that book to us?
I don't know, because I got the good version, not this crappy version. I got the Comic-Con exclusive version.
You do realize they could see this, right?
That's fine.
They sent us this. You
That's
talking about
fine.
the
I
crappy
appreciate
version?
y'all sending us this, but I got the good version.
That actually might be mine. Yours still probably has a sticker on it.
Probably.
So yeah.
So this is not the original. The original was 3 books. The Magicians.
Lev Grossman.
About Lev Grossman. It was The Magicians. The Magician's Land. I don't know. They were fun books. I can't remember the titles of them now because I'm a horrible. I know, right? But they were good books, and the basic tagline of it is, "This is Harry Potter grown up." It kind of sounds a little bit reductive to say it like that, but that's kind of...
Breakbills?
Yeah, Breakbills is the name of the university. These guys, or these magicians, are getting out of college, they're getting out of high school, and they're the brightest students, the brightest of the brightest. So, like, these are the people that would normally go to your Harvards, your Cornells, Oxfords or whatever. But they want something else out of life, and they go to a magical school called Breakbills, which is in some subsection of New York. And it kind of imagines a life of... Magic isn't great. It seems great, but magic definitely comes at a cost.
Glad you said that. I was about to say that. Good.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Magic comes at a cost, and they are always paying a cost of, we fixed one problem, and now we cause 2 other problems. I think the show does a great job of kind of branching from the book. I won't really get into spoilers, because even if you read the book, if you have read the book but haven't seen the show, I can kind of say the show deviates from the first book pretty quickly in terms of, oh, this happened way before I thought it would. Mm-hmm. This is a side story, book-wise, called Alice's Story, about Lev Grossman.
It's told from a different perspective. Right?
Different perspective. The same story, but told from the secondary character, not a secondary, but a different character than Quentin Coldwater. That's by...
Quentin who?
Coldwater.
So we're using our made-up names.
Hey, man, that's what we got. Quentin Coldwater is his name. But that's by Lev Grossman and Lila Sturgis. Very nice people I got to meet in San Diego Comic-Con. Shout out friends of the show for signing my book. I mean, I did pay you, so. It's cool.
Did we need that? Was that necessary?
I didn't pay for the signature I just paid for the book.
You threw it in there like, I did pay you, so.
But they were nice.
It was almost as if you were like, dance, because I did pay you. Like,
no, because there were other people who had already had books and they would have signed them anyway. They were very nice people overall.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a fun show. I think the chemistry between all the characters are really great. I really enjoy a character by the name of Penny.
I like that name. I'll write that down for later.
Great. Penny is a tall Indian man. I bring up the fact that he's Indian because...
It's a man?
Yeah.
Well, let me scratch that off then.
Okay. Tall Indian man. I bring the fact up because they kind of touch on that about his ethnicity with regards to how they deal with certain things. And I think the show does a good job of looking at a topic and then kind of flipping it on its head. The show is done by Sarah Gamble. Mm-hmm. Yes, who used to write for Supernatural, but I'm pretty sure she's the showrunner now for Magicians. And the fact that the show has a strong female showrunner is great because they put these female characters in a lot of bad situations, but they're not like
gratuitous.
They're not gratuitous, and they don't end the way they normally would if a male writer did it. Because they'd be like, no, we can flip this around, and I think it's a very good show, and it makes you think about gender roles a little bit more than you normally would.
I watched the first episode of that. It didn't grab me because I didn't read the books, but it's something me and my wife, we've been thinking about getting into another show. Because
3 seasons. I'm pretty sure 3 seasons are on Netflix now. They're in the 4th season right now on Sci-Fi.
Okay, cool.
I don't know, but yeah.
All right, so that's our first shows.
Yeah.
Show number 2 for me, Broadchurch.
U.S.
No.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
No, man, I almost kicked you out of that chair.
I had to check, man.
I almost, right out of that chair. No.
Okay. I don't know.
I'll be honest with you, there aren't too many BBC shows that are ported over to American audiences that are switched, that are better.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So Broadchurch is the story of let me get the tagline. The murder of a young boy in a small coastal town brings a media frenzy which threatens to tear the community apart. Couple of things you need to know about Broadchurch. It's a BBC show. BBC shows normally are shorter in length. They're not the gluttonous 24.
America, do BBC.
I mean,
these shows, they just move.
And they tell a complete story and they let it run. They don't do 22 episodes and then kill it after episode 4 because it didn't meet a metric. So Broadchurch is about the murder of a young kid. It is hard to watch in that sense, but it is one of the best shows.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Top. I'm talking like it's going to go down up there with The Wire as far as like just police procedurals, how things happen. Another thing you need to understand, I'm going to read 3 names who are in this show that should just make you pick it up.
I wonder if you're going to pick 3 names I would pick. Let's see.
David Tennant, Olivia Colman, Jodie Whittaker. Why do you say those 3 names?
Because it's Doctor Who, baby.
There you go. Olivia Colman won an Oscar for The Favorite. Mm-hmm. She's amazing in this. She was also in Hot Fuzz. Go check that out. Jodie Whittaker was also in Attack the Block with John Boyega. And David Tennant.
Scrooge McDuck.
And?
I mean, he was the 10th Doctor?
He was the Purple Man in season 1.
I don't know what number Doctor he was. Y'all correct me on that. I'm sure I'm wrong.
You should know that. We did a whole video on Doctor Who.
Yeah, but I don't remember what numbers.
Slack.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, man. It goes in and it goes out.
I need you to do better.
I don't keep up with that.
I see that.
It doesn't matter. He was a great doctor. That's a lot of people's first doctor.
The interesting thing about this show is, so you got David Tennant, who's a disgraced police detective. They call them DCIs over there.
Detective Chief Inspector.
Correct. Look at you. Can't remember the doctor, but you remember that.
I mean,
Bravo,
I really enjoy Luther a lot, so DCI Luther, yeah.
That was going to be my honorable mention, but it ain't on Netflix anymore.
Oh, they took it off?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
It was like, give me that.
Man, that's a show that ain't for kids.
No. So Olivia Colman is another detective. Jodie Whittaker plays the mother of the son who was murdered. And every single one of their performances. Now, don't get me wrong. Everybody stands out in this show. This show reminded me, The Outsider reminded me of this show, just with supernatural elements. Mm-hmm. Jodie Whittaker, oh my gosh, I don't know how, I don't know what she channeled. Amazing. She is when I heard I'm not a Doctor Who fan. Her addition to being the Doctor almost made me watch the Doctor Who. Almost made me get into it just because of her.
Who is this? Chris Chibnall. Mm-hmm. I wanted to bring him up slight nod because he is the current showrunner for Doctor Who. Mm-hmm. So everybody got excited because Chris Chibnall, I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name, but Chris and Jodie Whittaker, they worked together on Broadchurch. Yep. So when they announced that he was going to be the showrunner and he was bringing Jodie Whittaker to Doctor Who, people got excited and rightfully so because I really think the most recent season of Doctor Who was one of the best ones.
Okay.
So it's cool to see them before the Doctor Who, see them work together on Broadchurch.
So yeah, I was really enamored with this show. I'd heard a lot about it before I watched it, and then it kind of died down, and then the second season came out, and I went back and I watched the first one, and I was like, what did I just watch? There was a time, it's only 8 episodes. I'm not gonna lie to you. I stopped after 4 and was just like, okay, I need a break. Like, where's the Disney Channel? Because it was just so much, but it is so good.
It's very good, and I don't really want to say anything about it just for like spoiler-wise.
Oh yeah, Olivia Colman. Like when I watched it and I saw Olivia Colman, because there's scenes in this season and then in season 2 where I was just like, how? Mm-hmm. What did you do to prepare for this role? Because it's one of these roles where, a lot of people, they're always like, best actress and actor for this movie or whatever. And television sometimes gets snubbed a little bit, saying because it's a smaller screen. I would wager some of the actors and actresses who do television do a better job because they have to do a character for longer periods of time. So you see Jodie Whittaker's character dealing with the death of her son, go through so many different emotions, from he's not there to where is he to oh my gosh, it's a murder investigation, and then everybody.
How do you deal with the rest of your family?
Not only that, you live in a small town and everyone's a suspect, and you're like, who do I trust? Who do I talk to? Mm-hmm. And here's an outsider who comes in to help you identify, and then I hate to say it, the media shows up, doesn't help, and then. Let's be honest, you have some prick characters in here who take advantage of an opportunity to advance their own agenda.
There is a woman in this show that says one of the foulest things I've ever heard, and it is wild. I was like, oh my gosh.
I wanted to hit her in the face with a car.
Yeah, and I feel like they might have said the same thing in the American version, and it didn't hit as much.
I never watched the American version.
I watched it.
I never watched it.
It's fine. It's completely fine if the BBC version didn't exist, I think. Mm. Because they bring back David Tennant for the American version.
Yeah, I know
and
that.
And they pair him with...
old girl from...
Breaking Bad, right? Yeah.
Skylar.
Skylar.
So, a reason why I bring up Broadchurch, there's 3 seasons. Season 1 and 2 are the best. I have not finished season 3.
It's good.
I heard it's good. I heard it is not as good as season 1 and 2. And so... It's one of those things where I want to watch it and I want to finish it, but I kind of like don't. So I have this idea of season 1 and 2 just exist, because it's kind of like, imagine how good Indiana Jones would be if you never saw the Crystal Skull.
Knowledge was their treasure. It was all along.
So I recommend Broadchurch because everybody in the show is good, but it's just such a great, and you get to see the British countryside like you don't get to normally see, because you always see London, you always see these major cities, metropolitan areas, and here's this small, tight story about the small knit community and how they deal with one of the worst imaginable tragedies. And it is so, and I hate saying that, but it is so good.
And it's like, side note, that seems like a very nice place to go if they weren't dealing with the death of a child. It seems like a nice little town. It's like, let's just go here. Fishing, look at the cliffs. It's a nice place.
Yes.
If a dead kid wasn't there.
I mean, it really is. So my second show is Broadchurch.
I got to go back to my phone because I don't remember what shows I picked. So let's see. What...
I want to say what you picked, but I don't want them to know because I told you should have wrote them down.
Nah, it's better.
Written them down. Just wrote them down.
Wrote them down. Let's go with... This one is a Netflix original, and it's probably a co-production of Netflix and I guess some Spanish country, more or less, probably.
Really? Some Spanish country?
Yeah, a Spanish country. Yeah.
It's just the way you said it.
A country with Spanish origins, a Hispanic country. And I don't know if it's Hispanic so much as, I don't know. But Money Heist.
I've heard good things about this.
Money Heist is a fun show, and I haven't finished it yet because they release it in like season 1 part A, season 1 part B, season 2 part A, or whatever.
Is that something to do with how they do shows in that country that you have disparaged?
I didn't disparage.
It seemed like you did.
It's a very, very, very well done show. The main star for me is Ursula Corbero, and I'm sure there's some way you say it with the accent that makes it sound more correct, but that's how I'll say it in my Americanized version. But it kind of follows a group of criminals run by this overlord who's like really smart, really well thought out, and he's like, you know how in Ocean's 11, this Danny Ocean had this plan. This guy has plans on plans on plans, and he just knows how everything's going to go. They call him. Everybody has kind of code names. His code name is the Professor, and they go and rob a bank. And the show does a good job of almost not to the same granular detail of 24 of how every episode is an hour, but they do little sections of time that pass over the course of an hour or so for the episodes. Great show. Now it was originally voiced in Spanish, so there is an English dub. I actually like foreign language shows, and I can deal with dubs just fine. I'm pretty sure you could get up Money Heist now and see if you could watch it in Spanish with the tracks on.
You mean with the
subtitles on?
Yeah,
you could probably do the native Spanish language, I would assume. But I think the dub is fine. I think it's a fun show. It's there's a female, is she a detective, who's very awesome. She doesn't take any crap from anybody, and she kind of figures there's something going on with people in the show. Dang, that's another show that I could have put on as my mentionable.
Bodyguard?
Yeah, Netflix got a lot of good shows, y'all. They do. Yeah. Part 4 coming April 3rd. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, I would just say Money Heist. It's fun. Okay. It's got a heist feel to it. It's got foreign language feel to it. I think it's shot incredibly well in terms of like the visuals of how everything looks. Everybody's kind of sexy in the show. I don't know if that's just like okay, well, no comment on that. But everybody's got a little sexy feel to it, and just these all nice, attractive people, men, women, all around. Just a fun show.
All right.
Yeah.
So
that was 2. Yeah.
Is that 2?
Yeah, because you only did Broadchurch and whatever number 1 was. Happy.
Okay, so that was your 2.
Uh-huh.
All right, so this is 3 for me. My third show is since you went Netflix original, this is my Netflix original, Love, Death, and Robots. I cannot stress how much I love this show. It's an anthology about Love, Death, and Robots. It's an animated show created by Tim Miller. You should know that name because Deadpool. So each episode is about no more than 20 minutes long, and it deals with something that has one of these things in it. Love, death, and robots. Or not all of them have robots in it, but it has some type of science fiction or fantasy nature to them. The first episode, now this is the interesting thing about this. So I'm on my Netflix account right here. How they watch this show is different. So, perfect example. My first episode was Sunny's Edge. Okay. That was my first episode. I've talked to other people who have discovered this show. That is not their first episode. So the way Netflix has structured this show depends on where you live, depends on which is your first episode. And They were testing it to see how people watch the show, if they picked or if they watched straight through. I believe there's an article somewhere about it. I cannot find out where, because I didn't realize that. Because when I remember I was talking to a friend of mine, I was like, yo, the first episode, and he started talking about a different episode. And I was like, wait a minute, what? Your first episode was what? And he was like, yeah, what was yours? I'm telling you, the animation behind this is so revolutionary. It reminded me of Into the Spider-Verse in the sense of each character in Into the Spider-Verse was animated differently depending on what universe they were from. Yeah. Each episode is animated very differently. Okay. So there's an episode called Suits. I'll just read. A community of farmers use their homemade mechs to defend their families from an alien invasion. Awesome episode. It's about 17 minutes long. That animation is totally different from Sunny's Edge. Here's the description of Sunny's Edge. In an underground world of beastie fights, Sunny is unbeatable as long as she keeps her edge. I don't want to tell you exactly. The animation for both of these are exquisite, but so diametrically different. And then you have another episode, Witness. After seeing a brutal murder, a woman flees from the killer through the streets of a surreal city. That energy from that episode is so kinetic because it's so quick. So as she's running through the streets, it's the camera movements and how she gets away and how things happen. You're just like, what in the world? Like, it's like watching a thriller. It is amazing. Beyond the Aquila looks almost like motion capture.
Okay.
There's one, where is it? Is it not Fish Night? Zima Blue. I can't explain. Katie really liked that. So we watched a couple of them. There's a couple of them I didn't even bother to make her watch because once I saw them, I was like, ooh, you have a hard time with that one. But there's a couple of them that are just hilarious, like Ice Age. Mary Elizabeth Winstead is in that with Topher Grace. And so that's a hilarious episode. Zima Blue is a wonderful episode. Who's the skinny bald woman from Orange is the New Black? I'm trying to remember what her name is.
Skinny.
I'm trying to remember what her name is. She's in one of these episodes. Lucky 13. I say all of this to say each.
The black woman?
Yeah, black one. Remember she was.
Is that Poussey?
Yes.
Okay.
She's in one of these episodes
Okay.
as well. I say this and I bring it up because each episode is so different. The themes are different. What they try to accomplish in these episodes is different. But the overall that there's something science fiction, something fantasy, and it was so great to see adult science fiction that's not aimed at children. That they can convey a message of what is sentience, what is love, what is the meaning of civilization. All of these different things told from 10, sometimes even 8-minute episodes all the way to almost 20 minutes. Okay. And I cannot stress it enough. It is worth it. There is going to be a second volume. I cannot imagine what they would do in the second installment with this. So my third pick is...
Because the idea is that each episode kind of has a theme of love, death, or robots, right?
It has one of those different things, whether it is death, whether it is love. Some of them have all three. So I say this to say the episodes are exquisite, amazing, not for children. Not for children.
Man, you ain't got like no shows for kids.
I do have one.
Oh, okay. We just ain't heard it yet.
Actually, I don't. I just realized.
I was like, man,
I just thought about.
Don't watch this with none of your kids.
Yeah, I just realized. I was like, yeah, I don't.
I think magicians you can watch with your kids.
No, you can't.
You can talk to them about stuff. This is about grown up stuff. Sometimes you want to teach your kids stuff.
Don't it have to deal with sexual violence, drugs, alcohol?
I mean, sometimes you got to teach your kids.
Wow.
Teach them young. What was my first show? I already forgot. Oh, it wasn't Magicians. See? I don't even know, y'all. Magicians and Money Heist. All right, those two shows ain't really for kids.
All right. What you got for number 3?
I'm trying to see if I got a show for kids.
You don't.
I mean, I could.
Not if it's the ones you already said.
I could pull a switcheroo real quick.
All right, let's see what you got.
What are the other shows I picked?
I
said that one.
I told you should have wrote them down.
Man, this is funny. Oh, I think this is for kids. Kantaro, the Sweet Tooth Salaryman, is...
That sounds like a nightmare.
So, I don't know about y'all, but I like quirky stuff. This is a Japanese show. It's co-produced by Netflix and Tokyo TV, or TV Tokyo. I don't know the order of that. But it's co-produced by both of those guys. And for those who aren't familiar, the term salaryman kind of just deals with, in the Japanese culture, of a businessman who does his 9-to-5 job. And you've been to Japan.
Why are you telling people my business?
I mean, you told them that before.
I have?
Yeah.
Have I told y'all that?
Yeah.
Lies.
Okay. But I say that to say that culture is very productive in terms of they value productivity out of their people.
Oh, yeah.
And people will work themselves to death. And that's expected of you. Like here, you'd be like, how dare you? To them...
Depends. Because some people, we still have that belief of...
Yeah. But not I don't think the same way as the Japanese do. No,
it's not cultural. Yeah. Because like you could, let's say you feel, and correct me if I'm wrong. One of the things that I've heard from friends of mine who either have been there or lived over there, if you fell asleep on a bench because you were overworked, that was seen as a good thing.
Yeah.
Not as if you were a lazy slob or something.
Yeah, you're like good. You were yeah. But that country for the most, I feel like, definitely values the whole over the self in terms of putting the company forward. So there's this guy who works a regular 9-to-5 job, but he has a passion, y'all. You know what his passion is?
Cooking?
Sweets.
Yeah, that wasn't what I was going to think.
He cooking. He likes food.
Okay.
So you've heard the term food porn, right?
Yeah.
In terms of showing these ridiculously detailed shots of food and stuff like that.
Oh, that's not what I thought food porn was.
That's what I think it is.
I thought when you said food porn, I was thinking of the Arch episode where they had the fun
No,
pops.
no, not like that.
And
to me,
Lana was asked Pam. She was like, "What do you call this? Food porn?" She was like, "Yes."
Yeah, no. To me, it's more like just showing the beautiful food in gratuitous detail, and it's just it just looks so good. The food
That's
is
not what I thought it was. I thought it was porn with food.
no, that's not. I could be wrong, and maybe I'm naive, but I thought it was just focusing specifically on food and just how beautiful food can be.
Okay, cool.
But
Learn something new today.
this show, he loves food. Particularly he loves desserts.
Mm-hmm.
So what he does is he has devised this method where he can continue to do his 9-to-5 business while still going to different dessert specialties around Japan. I don't know exactly what prefecture he's in, but he's able to go to different places, and he has this blog. I feel like it's called The Sweet Tooth Salaryman as the blog, and he writes about different food all the time. There's this coworker who is kind of nosy and is like, "Are you not doing your work or whatever?" So she kind of tries to figure out what he does. I think
Because she's a hater.
It's weird because
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like she's a hater.
Have you seen When Harry Met Sally? I feel like Katie might have made you watch that. Little Shop Around the Corner. You Got Mail. They're all kind of the same story. Don't at me. They're all kind of the same story. They're all good, but they're all kind of the same story. No?
I'll let us in a little secret.
Oh, God. What?
I hate those movies.
You seen them then?
No, I refused.
They're not bad movies. Little Shop Around the Corner is really good, actually. It's a really good black and white movie with who's a Wonderful Life guy? It's a Wonderful Life. Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in that. I'm pretty sure it's him. Good movie. But anyway, I say that because it kind of has the same setup of the woman hates the salaryman, but she's in love with his alter ego who writes these blogs. She doesn't know they're the same person. So
Is this like a Lois Lane, Superman, Clark Kent type thing?
I mean, every story's already been told. They said that, so it's not like it has to be original. It's just fun the way they do it. It's so quirky and weird. It's great.
She sounds like a hater.
She's fun. The show is weird because sometimes he has these weird dreamscapes where he dreams about the food, and the way he talks about it, he's like, "Man, I want to try this food."
Okay.
Kantaro Sweet Tooth Salaryman, based on a manga.
Okay.
Yeah. That's my number 3.
We're moving on to number 4. My number 4 show was a show I found out after it already aired. And it was in season 3 by the time
your boy.
I found it after season 3. It was on AMC originally. It's on Netflix now. All 4 seasons are up. Halt and Catch Fire. I'm not disparaging any season. But season 1 hits you like a freight train. The Halt and Catch Fire is about basically the
Computer boom?
The computer boom, and it takes different parts from how computer companies started. So here's the tagline: follow some players in the 80s technological. Thank you. Yep. Revolution that led to information society.
Okay.
So they go from the original home computing to the internet.
Okay.
Through various. Now, the one cool thing I love about this show is, and I'm going to give this away, but it's not necessarily like a spoiler. Each season jumps in time and deals with a different part of the internet and computers and video games. So season 1 starts in one decade. Season 2 starts in a whole different decade. The one thing I love about this show is that it touches upon not just how the internet, how computers, how home computing, how it happened. It deals with the trade shows. It deals with where you have companies who have people who work for them and they're drones and somebody's been beat down. And it also deals with people who are visionaries. Lee Pace's character in this show, and a reason why I mentioned season 1, is amazing. He comes in a Porsche, like a white knight in shining armor, and he comes in like, I mean, he changes the game.
Okay.
Scoot McNairy is amazing, and my girl Mackenzie Davis.
Terminator. A Terminator, I should say.
I was going to say San Junipero. And the woman who really who shines in this show, who is Carrie Bly. All right, how do you say that? Is that Beast?
Bishi?
I don't know.
Bichet, maybe?
Basically, she's amazing. Those 4 people. Now, there are other people in this show who really make it, but those 4 characters, the whole show revolves around the relationships between these 4 people. It deals with women in computing, how women are viewed, a working woman versus a stay-at-home mom, child prodigies. It deals with workplace romance. It deals with how do you handle a corporate takeover. Like all of these different themes you would think would be so hard to maneuver and explain to people is done very well in this show. This show does very well with people's egos in the sense of like, you could have had it all, and somebody's just like, screw you, I'm taking my ball and going home. And
y'all could tell he really didn't care about that book. If you know Leroy, he didn't really care about that book. Could that have been one of his omnibus? Yeah. That wouldn't have happened.
Oh yeah,
he'd be like, "Oh my God, what did I do?"
Yeah, I'd have knocked that camera over trying to catch it.
Go ahead.
This is probably one of my favorite shows. I will say this. At me if you want to. Halt and Catch Fire is better than The Walking Dead.
I've never seen Halt and Catch Fire, so I can't comment.
The reason why I say that is because after I stopped watching The Walking Dead after season 3 or 4. I was like, I'm just keep reading the books.
I think I got to season 6.
Season 1, perfect. The rest of it, it went downhill for me. But this show, the things they do in this show is amazing. And I'm telling you right now, if you like Lee Payson from Pushing Daisies. Whoo!
Ronan the Accuser.
Oh, loved him as Ronan the Accuser. Was so mad he got killed. Wanted him to come back. Like, I want him to come back because I just love Lee Pace. Lee Pace says, I'm going to hit this home run for you, sick kid. Boom! Walks the bases, flips the bat. This is my show.
You are slowly destroying our set in this video. I didn't think that was going to happen, but yes. Yes, it is.
Maybe they'll get us a new one after this video.
Maybe.
I say this, the reason why is because this is a great show that maybe a lot of people didn't see. It only lasted 4 seasons, but it was an amazing show. Each episode, the music in it captures the theme of that time period.
Okay.
So you would get like songs and you're like, oh, when did that come out? And you're like, that came out now? But it really does capture like the 80s, that synth music, how they deal with computers. And you can tell whoever wrote these episodes actually cared and actually tried to get the technology for that time period correct.
Okay.
So you go through different stages where they tried to get dial-up internet working, where you had them talking about Netscape and AOL and that fight that you had there. I cannot talk about this show enough. I honestly want to go back and watch it. It really was that good. So for my 4 is Halt and Catch Fire.
I just remembered what my 4 was, y'all, because I was like, I saw another show that's on my list, but other show that I forgot wasn't on the list. Nailed It.
Oh, Nicole Byer.
Yes. That is a fun show. First of all, shout out to Nicole Byer for doing her thing. She was one of the people on Girl Code, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I always thought she was funny on that. And now I just kind of see her. You've seen her, well, you may have seen her, but as a guest star on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You may have seen her on The Good Place. She kind of pops up with different stuff. But now she is the host of a show called Nailed It. And the idea, if you guys didn't know, I like food. Clearly, I'm a big chunky man. But I just love the idea of people cooking food. I love cooking shows, all that kind of stuff. But there's kind of a thing now, and it's been around for a while, of these people who can't cook but they just enjoy the idea of cooking and showing off their creation, whether it's bad or good, and they show off these creations that are kind of horrible, but they just have a joy of cooking.
Well, also, it wasn't it born out of the idea that we had all these cooking shows and you had all these master chefs and top chefs, and people would try to duplicate these things. YouTubers would try to be like, we're gonna make Bobby Flay's, macaroni carbonara, whatever, and like they try to make
macaroni carbonara. Did you just pick out two words instead of put them together?
No, it's a real thing. Watch Bon Appetit.
No, I mean all right.
You didn't know that's a real thing?
No, I'm saying that. It's just that phrase just popped out.
No, I just watched. So my wife watches Bon Appetit with Claire, Carla, Molly, Andy. Trying to remember who some other people are on. Alex, Chris, and they each have their own thing. But it's Bon Appetit. Claire's one was where she makes gourmet versions of like trash food.
Oh, I know who Claire is, bro.
Okay.
I told you about Claire.
No, you didn't.
I did.
No.
I definitely did. We will talk off air because I'll tell you why.
No, let me
I'll tell you why.
My wife told me about it because every time I made her log out of my YouTube account, she's messing with the algorithm because every time I would log into YouTube, I'm looking for sports stuff and nerd stuff, and it's littered with food stuff. And I'm like, I don't watch this because I get hungry watching it.
I respectfully disagree, and I feel like I told you about Claire before that, but we'll talk about that off air.
Anyway, there's an episode with Chris who he tastes and he smells things. He has to duplicate it. And the last one we just watched was they had to duplicate Bobby Flay's macaroni carbonara.
Okay.
Continue.
So this show,
Sir.
You ain't getting no macaroni carbonara, or if you do, it's gonna look horrible. But these people are making baked creations. They're not good chefs. And
I love what you said. They're not good chefs.
They're not good chefs. And it's important to know that because this show does a great job of not making fun of these people. Because you could easily be like, man, you garbage, and they could just trash people. They don't really trash people. They have a genuine compassion for these people who, even though they can't cook, they just like to bake. Well, and let them do it.
How about this? Maybe they can cook in the sense of it tastes good, but the presentation of it is just trash. Does it even taste good?
Have you ever seen Nailed It?
I've seen a couple episodes.
Because a lot of times Nicole was like, oh no. And she's very nice about it, but all of just like, oh, this ain't, you didn't put any sugar in this. Or there's no flour in this. Like, where's the sweets? So, yeah, no.
Okay.
Nope. Some of these people can't do either. But it's just a celebration of cooking. And even though you're not great at it, you just love cooking. Nicole Byer's hilarious. It's always Nicole Byer. It's always the chocolatier chef, and I can't remember his name, because he looks good. Over the course of 3 or 4 seasons, you see him lose weight, and he looks great. I could. And it's usually a special guest, and it can either be a comedian friend of hers. Like one time they've had Jason Mantzoukas on a couple episodes, which I really like to see. Rafi from
Rafi Ball
with the Wild League.
I know who Rafi is.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love Rafi.
That guy's funny. I like him a lot. Jason Mantzoukas is on there sometimes, and sometimes they also get like professional chefs to be judges. They get a lot of YouTube celebrities, and they have the basic cooks make these spectacular dishes that they really probably aren't going to be able to pull off. It's just showing you, man, this is incredible work, and they do their own version of it. It doesn't turn out great, but they just have a good time. There's 3 or 4 seasons. I think a new season's coming out. Our coworker Vanessa loves the show all the time, so whenever a new season comes out, we tell each other about it.
Okay.
And there is a Spanish version of Nailed It as well, which is pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's your 4th show.
Yeah.
So we're moving on to 5, my last show. Some of my shows have been a little dark, so
I've had 2 happy shows.
First of all, sir, my first show was called Happy.
But it ain't. It's not.
It is if you like comedy and dark humor.
Okay.
My last show is actually not really a show. It's a series of stand-ups. It's called Netflix The Stand-Ups. Netflix has really been killing the game of late with comedy specials. Whether it's Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Tom Segura, Nikki Glazer has a longer special. They have been killing the game on getting long-form stand-up specials.
I really like, I don't want to cut you off, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I really like John Mulaney's The Comeback Kid. I think
John Mulaney, amazing.
Yeah.
They have really stepped up their game. And not just like with people who are new and upcoming. They went back and remember they got Chris Tucker back. Arsenio Hall has one.
Adam Sandler has one. Right?
Adam's.
Is it on Netflix or somewhere else? I think it's on Netflix. I don't know. Maybe it's not. I don't want to say it.
We can literally look it up.
We could.
We're not. So they have really done a good job. Now, one of the things that I think that they've done a really good job with is maybe some of the lesser known comedians that you have seen some certain places, whether it be Comedy Central's roast specials. You've seen a lot of people. You talked about Girl Code. Some of these guys or girls have been. I remember Fortune Feimster is one of the comedians. She was on Chelsea Handler's show. Nikki Glazer had her own show. She started, I remember seeing her and Rachel Feinstein on Women Who Kill from Girl Who Did Trainwreck.
Amy Schumer.
Amy Schumer. So I remember there was 4 women who were on her Women Who Kill, and you see them here. So season 1 is Nate Bargatze. Fortune Feimster, Dion Cole, Nikki Glazer,
I've
Beth
seen
Stelling.
most of them. I really like Dion Cole. I just like Dion Cole overall.
Dan Soder. That's season 1. Season 2 kills. Season 2, Kyle Kinane stand-up. I rewatch that every month. It is amazing. Rachel Feinstein, Brent Morin, Aparna
Nancharla?
Yeah, is it not? Yeah, Nancharla. And that's
Kyle Kinane. That is the voice of Comedy Central, right?
the voice of Comedy Central.
You know, like the new voice of Comedy Central. I'm pretty sure it's Kyle Kinane.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't watch the actual Comedy Central. I just watch certain shows. I bring this up is because we talked about like here are the B-side shows you should watch, and right now I think we all need a little bit more comedy, something happy going on.
Sure.
These stand-ups, I'm not knocking anybody's performance. This is probably like a concentrated, just straight. They have another show that's 15 minutes of different stand-ups, but I can't remember what the name of it is. I'll look it up. But some of these comedians, all of them are great. Each one has a different style, and so you can find which one you like. And it also helps to find a new comedian you might not have picked up on. Nate, I cannot pronounce his first name, but his last name, Bargatze, is hilarious. And I found him through a comedy channel on Sirius XM. And I heard little snippets, same thing with Dan Soder. Dion Cole, I've been loving him for years.
Oh, yeah.
Me and Katie actually went and saw him at the Comedy Club out
That's
here.
Cool.
I remember when he was still doing the whole, like Dion Cole killed it for me.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
He's like, and I don't want to give it away, but there's something he says at the end of his comedy, he still does it, where he's like, it just ends, and it's each one has their own thing. Nikki Glazer talks about sex a lot, so each person brings their own.
So you picked another one for kids.
I mean,
don't worry, I got your kids, y'all. So I got some kids stuff you can watch.
I mean,
Kantaro nailed it. You can watch those kids.
If they want to watch stuff for the kids, Nickelodeon's out there. This for adults, man. I'm here for y'all. Cause
if you want to watch something for the kids, watch the new Green Eggs and Ham show on Netflix.
Don't watch Green Eggs and Ham. Watch the stand-ups.
This is for the kids, man.
Get your laugh on. Look, man, how many times these parents got to watch Baby Shark on all this other mess?
I didn't name Baby Shark. I named Green Eggs and Ham.
I'm just saying, I'm trying to get them something that they can watch because they having a rough time. And all these parents now got to be teachers, principals. They need
teachers and principals.
You know what I'm saying?
And school resource officers.
See what I'm saying? They got to do it all.
Guidance counselors.
Watch this during your planning period.
Custodians. Man.
Pretty cafeteria workers. Counselors.
Crossing guards.
These parents got to do it all now.
Hall monitors. Everything. Yeah.
I'm doing this for them.
Okay.
But I say this because you need something funny going on. The stand-ups, man. Kyle Kinane's 30 minutes will blow your mind. You proud of that?
I'm not bad. I kind of felt it in my nose on that one. Number 5 for me. I got some funny stuff. Probably not for kids, but I've already given you 2 kids.
Not the kids. Oh, you don't have anything for the kids.
Actually, I gave you 3 kids things. So
no,
there we
didn't.
go. I did because I also named Green Eggs and Ham.
That doesn't count, sir. That's not within the realm of the.
Are we gonna have some honorable mentions?
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find something for kids.
Yeah, great. Carmen Sandiego.
Nope.
Carmen Sandiego's not bad.
I didn't watch it.
But no, my fifth one is Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Oh.
You don't like it?
Katie watched it. I was like,
I loved it. Now,
I can't stand singing.
we are learning more and more about Leroy and myself as you guys watch these videos. What you know about me, I love a cooking show and I love a musical. Now, there's no cooking in Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, but there is music. Mm-hmm. And it is, I am always a fan of people that can do funny songs. I think that's a talent. Because writing a song is tough enough as it is, but to make it funny and humorous, say what you want to, I think Weird Al Yankovic is a genius.
I'll give you that.
To do so much parody stuff that he does.
Not only that, to do it as long as he's done.
Yeah, he is still relevant. I think he's fantastic. I think Lonely Island are also very good. Now, they haven't been doing as long as Weird Al, so, but I think they're fine. But, so...
They have a few hits.
yes, they do. Rachel Bloom plays a character called Rebecca Bunch, who is destined to be a great lawyer in New York City. But she feels...
She's crazy. She is crazy. That's why I don't like this show. Continue.
Have you watched the whole thing?
I watched the first episode.
Okay.
I know she... But...
So I don't want to spoil stuff. Because the Crazy Ex-Girlfriend is a trope.
I
right?
know.
It's always been a trope. And I think this show... Ooh, maybe I shouldn't drink all that soda. Ooh, now it's like fizzy lifting drink.
Did you learn nothing from me?
It's like the fizzy lifting drink. But she wants to be a lawyer, but she is unfulfilled by that, and she goes off to West Covina, California, because it's 2 hours by the beach, is what they say, but it's really not.
Why does she go to that place?
For a boy.
How does this come about?
What do you mean, how does it come about?
This show starts with a small interaction.
Well, yeah, so this was a boy, this is a boy she knew back in the day. She always had a crush on him. They were kind of childhood sweethearts at a summer camp. She goes to follow him, and they're either 3 seasons or 4 seasons. Might be 4 seasons. I don't know, but it should all be on Netflix now. And I think the job does a pretty good job of dealing with the Crazy Ex-Girlfriend trope, and kind of, I talked about it before with magicians and turning stuff on its head. I think this show does that as well, because they talk about it, they make fun of it, and they're like, let's dissect what that really means to be a crazy ex-girlfriend. And it kind of makes you wonder, ooh, that's not a great thing to say about somebody, because it has such a negative stereotype.
Yeah.
I think the show does a great job of that. Now, having said that, I think the actress, and I have to, because the names are so close, so I can't remember who's what. Rachel Bloom is really good at being annoying. I don't hate...
Glad you said it.
Yeah. Now, she is annoying, and I could see this show's not going to be for everybody, because...
I tried.
It takes a certain kind of patience to deal with what she puts out there. And again, credit to Rachel Bloom portraying Rebecca Bunch that way, because based on interviews and other stuff that I've seen from...
She's not like that.
She's not like that. But the character can be annoying. Now, her posse, I think, is kind of what helps you... They're kind of like the audience. And they don't put up with a lot of her crap either. She kind of gets a surrogate mom / at first frenemy, but becomes a real best friend to her. And the show's great. I think the songs are very well done. They do a lot of different styles of songs and genres.
I've got these heavy boobs, heavy.
That was like season 3 or 4. But
Katie sent me that. Did not warn me. And it just was like, heavy boobs, heavy boobs. And I was like,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, but they got songs like that. That are kind of funny and humorous but
very educational.
Yes.
I'll give them that. That was because she was like, they're just sacks of, and I was like, that's true.
Yeah. One of the first songs in the first episode is called the Sexy Getting Ready song. And it talks about all the stuff that women go through to get ready for dates. Oh, and then they show the dude, he's like, yeah. And it's like, dang, that is true.
He shows up like this.
Yeah, he cares. He does not care at all.
No.
And she's gone through so much stuff. And they have a rapper. Oh, you know what? I think it's Nipsey Hussle. He's dead now, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. That's why it brought to me, because it's like, ooh, that's interesting that I think about that. He died. Nipsey Hussle has a lyric, or he has like maybe a couple bars in the song, and then he's like, "Ooh man, I got through too much. I can't rap about this no more. I'm sorry." It's really funny. It's a good show, and I'll say this: I stuck with it because I like musical comedy so much. So if you're a fan of Werewolf Bar Mitzvah and you know what that means, I would say give this show a shot.
Now we're just making up words.
Werewolf Bar Mitzvah. The people who know what it means.
Whatever.
Men becoming wolves, or no, what is it? Boys becoming men.
First of all,
men becoming wolves.
Put some respect on Nipsey Hussle's name, sir.
I did put respect on
No,
Nipsey Hussle's
no,
name.
you did not. You were
did.
like, hey, he did. Like,
He is
sir.
dead.
Yeah, but you need to know that. It's a legend.
I don't need to know.
Yeah, you do.
Anything.
Y'all need to know too. Look up
but,
Nipsey Hussle.
There you
Respect.
go. Yeah. So those are our 5.
What's your honorable mention?
This is real quick because I just thought about this. Just because I want to get her more play, maybe we get another season out of this. The Curious Creations of Christine McConnell.
Get out. That's not even real.
Look it up right now.
I'm not.
It's real.
It's not.
It is. I gotta find my stuff.
Wait, is this the show with the puppets
Yes.
and the raccoon?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I take that back.
Yes.
I was like,
it is a weird show.
I was like, that's not real.
It is like
I remember that.
It is like a Martha Stewart / Macabre.
Yeah.
/ Mr. Rogers.
You ain't get another episode. You ain't get another season.
I know, it was so weird, but it was great. This woman, Christine McConnell, she's like a Martha Stewart on steroids in terms of she does everything. We talked about how these people in Nailed It are really bad at stuff. She can just I don't know, she has that gift to do anything. She upholsters stuff, she cooks stuff, she bakes stuff, she makes all kinds of her own dresses. But she's really into the macabre and the dark stuff.
Okay.
And she's kind of made that her own niche. And it's like a little half-hour. It's not a variety show, but there are puppets in it. It's just so weird and fun.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
your honorable mention. You got any more?
Thought I saw something. Oh, The Toys That Made Us on
Okay.
Netflix.
Yeah.
If you're into toys, like we are, action figures. Yeah, collectibles. Netflix does a really good deep dive into some of the biggest brands from like Barbie, Transformers. For me, the most recent season had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers, so I was done after they did that.
Yeah, I don't have any of those.
But
Transformers in that corner.
But yeah, they kind of dive into all this stuff, and they talk about G.I. Joes. They talk about Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
I think it's a really good.
Kenner.
Yeah.
Based in
It's
Cincinnati,
either 2
Ohio.
or 3 seasons, but maybe 3 seasons. Good
and
show.
The same creators behind that went on to do the movies that made us.
Yeah, and I haven't finished that, but it's the same type of deep dive, and it's really good.
My honorable mentions, also not kid shows.
And you about to be a daddy soon? Katie, this is the proof.
He'll be asleep.
This is the proof.
Astronomy Club. I really want that to get another season. It's a anthology comedy show, which has like, it's basically like what would happen if you put 6 black people in a house, like Real World, and they're a comedy troupe, but they do skits and stuff. It's very weird, but I really love it. Some of the skits, they have Ice Cube Day. They have what if Cat Williams was a substitute teacher? What happens if Medea gets a time machine? My favorite one was Robin Hood in the Hood, and the Hood RPG game, LARP game. Oh my God! Like there's so many different skits that they have that
I believe professionals call them sketches.
skits. I don't know. I can't remember what it's called in the show, considering the show is so wild. But it's hilarious, and some of the subject matter is stuff that you normally won't get in a Saturday Night Live because it's predominantly African American. Like there's a whole show about there's one woman who's biracial, and she's like, I've always questioned my blackness, and so she tries to make traditional black foods, and it doesn't necessarily go off without a hitch. She's bad, y'all. I'm just gonna say it. It really touches on some subject matter you don't normally get to see. I really enjoyed it. I've watched some of the episodes, certain parts I've scrolled through just to get to a certain sketch. The Shade. There's so many of them that are so great. I really love that. My other honorable mention is 2 shows, but it's really one. Narcos. Season 1 is just Narcos. Your boy Pedro Pascal is in season 1. Amazing. Season Narcos technically is season 3 to a certain extent. It's
You
in
didn't
the
say
same.
what?
So the Narcos, it's 2.
But you like started something and you like didn't finish your sentence.
It's so Narcos. The first show is 2 seasons. Then there's technically it's like season 3, but it's called Narcos Mexico.
Okay.
Which happens around the same time as Narcos is going on. A lot of the same characters intermingle. But Narcos, whereas Narcos, the first one centers on the Colombian drug trade. Narcos Mexico centers on the Sinaloa cartel and how it was built and how the Sinaloa cartel started in Mexico and how it literally moved from marijuana to cocaine into the U.S. Diego Luna is amazing. Michael Pena in Narcos Mexico is amazing. Diego Luna is so amazing. He made me root for the Sinaloa cartel.
Well, you're evil.
No, I mean just like he saw something and he wanted it to be great, and people didn't want to be great with him. It's like it's one of those things like we at work. We were like, some people are rocks, and they don't want you to be great. And Diego Luna, I felt you. I wanted the Sinaloa cartel to succeed. Like I really was. Diego Luna was so good. I rooted against the DEA.
Okay.
I was like, man. And so season 4 has Scoot McNairy. And it really does show. Now, some of these situations are dramatized and they don't have the exact what happened, but it really does follow how these small operations literally changed the face of the world through the drug empire. A lot of people don't realize how much the drug trade fueled the economic boom in Miami, changed banking to a certain extent. It explains what money laundering is and how these drug cartels weren't just moving millions of dollars. I'm talking billions of dollars. It's really well thought out. Narcos and Narcos Mexico. Those are my honorable mentions. Not a kid's show.
I was gonna say, do you know any kid shows? Oh, this child.
Star Wars Clone Wars.
Oh, this child.
Uh,
That's one, I guess. There we go. Not even on Netflix, folks. So great.
Wait. I know there's one on Netflix.
We ain't doing Disney Plus right now. We're doing Netflix.
I'm looking through my list.
You know it's not there.
I got one kid show. I knew I have to. Kung Fu Panda. Ha! Told you.
Okay. Sure.
That's a movie.
Because they made a TV show. But you had the movie? Great.
Yeah, I didn't pick the TV show.
All right. He don't love your kids. That's fine. We got shows for everything.
Death Note. That's not a kid's show.
Like, comment, subscribe. I'm done. Like, comment, subscribe. You can find us here on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, WOTX.com.
Are you saying Death Note's not a kid's show? Is that what we're saying? Is that what we're doing?
Bye, folks. Man.